My name is Cathy Hines, and I'm here to talk to you about virtual reality today. Let's click to see if I can advance my slides here. If you'd like to have the stuff that I'm showing today, you can get this at the bit.ly. VR for HOI, VR for Heart of Innovation. So yeah, and that's an I, not an L. And so remember, in a bit.ly, capitalization counts. So bit.ly, I could put that in the chat too. VR for HOI, and that should work for you. I just tried it out. So that is the presentation. I'll get back to my presentation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cathy Hines. That's my email. I usually go by Cathy. Sometimes it's Catherine Marie when my mother was upset with me. My role at Heartland is a digital learning consultant. I serve Region 2, which is Dallas Center, Grimes, the west side of the metro, Dallas Center, Van Meter, Waukee. I'm also do internal training for our staff as a new, so I do that. And there's my email if you ever want to reach out. And then of course, we all get that group email, HAEA Tech, we all can see that. So if you don't know who your consultant is, when we talk about how you can check out this kit and you want to do it, just send it to HAEA Tech and we'll get that get you connected to the right consultant. Okay, Joni, so now you know you can just do HAEA Tech and we'll get you, because we'd love to work with Des Moines. I was just thinking, I wish more Des Moines teachers were here because I think they could benefit from this. So my daughter teaches, by the way, for Des Moines Public. She is at some elementary that I can't remember the name of because I'm 56 years old and I can't remember things. Okay, so first of all, virtual reality. Why use VR in the classroom? It is immersive. Now I'm going to talk to you today about these small lens kits. Now we don't have the Oculus where you can play tennis and stuff. I think that will be the future. We just don't have the money. And here's the problem with the Oculus sets. You have to use Facebook. We can't be connecting kids to Facebook. There's just too much privacy problems, protecting student data to use that type of VR right now for us. I know we're investigating it. We're trying to stay up with it, and it might in the future change. But right now we're talking about like these little, I'm going to take off my background. Choose virtual background. I'm just going to put it at nothing so you can see. Pardon me. None. Yeah, I'm working from home today. So these goggles are what we use. We put a phone in, and the kit comes with a phone, and we put the phone inside here. This is what virtual, and then when the kids close it, they put these goggles up to their, and it drops them into a 3D picture is what it does. And so the kids can go up and down and all around, and they are just dropped into that image. It's not, you can't interact with it. They're just dropped into it. So it's immersive in that way. Experiential, it's multi-sensory, it's active, it engages learners, it broadens their perspective and exposes them to the future, which I think it's true. I was talking to a guy who works in Waterloo. I have some Waterloo people here, and John Deere is really into using VR, like designing their tractors and so forth. So there's a lot of work in the field of virtual reality, and this can be an introduction of that to our students. But here's the reason I love that. This is in 7th grade at DCG before pandemic times. Got to take it out, and I posted on my Twitter account because I just loved it. Look down. Look down. I know, that was my reaction. No, turn it. No, you're still going down. Look down. Look down. I know, that was my reaction. I just love that. And that's 7th graders. And, you know, I've seen from kindergarten to 12th graders. how they react to it. And it's always, it's super happy for me. I still love it. And I love it when I change scenes. I'll even pause. Oops, gotta go back. I'll pause. Else I'll be wait for it. And then when you change the scene, it's like this whole reaction again. I mean, I have teachers they're walking by in the hallways and they will come in to see what we're doing when we're bringing these kids out to schools. And that's rare today, as we were talking about. So what's available at Heartland? And if you click this link, if you're playing along and you're at home, that link will take you to our website. And it has different pages and shows you, but we have 3 kits. We have 1 kit with 30 devices. And because a lot of times you can share them, but sometimes it's nice for each kid to have their own. Then we have 2 kits that have 15 devices. So you could, if you have a classroom of 30, you can put them with a partner and they can share. What's in the kit? I'm going to show you here. These right here is a router that comes with the kit. The nice thing about this is that router is what's pushing out that signal to the students. You don't have to be connected to Wi-Fi except for this router. This router, when I would come into your school and I'm wrong. The teacher tablet connects to the Wi-Fi and the teacher tablet sends the tour out to these student devices. These are 15 Google phones. So that's the other thing I really like about this option is you're never on the internet. So if I go to a school, I don't have to get on your internet. All I need to do is set up this router. I push it from my teacher tablet to these phones, or you do, preferably you can do it. And then the kids, here's the goggles for each of the phones. Yeah, and it's the same thing here in the kit of 30 and then the kit in 15. We have 2 of these. So we, do I have any questions yet on that? What's in the kits? I was saying earlier, you might have heard it. We were out in school so much. We started with just this 1 kit of 30 3 years ago that we had to buy 2 more because it was checked out months in advance, because you check them out for a week at a time. And we had so many people that wanted them. We made the decision at Heartland to purchase more because these kits, this one cost us about $30,000. Or 20, yeah, it was around 30,000 for all. It's the phones that are so pricey. So it's one of those things that schools can't afford. So we can bring it out to you. I have had some districts that I worked with that liked it so much that they purchased a kit for their own school. And I think, Joni, I don't know if you guys have one or not, but there are some districts still have these. And that was another reason I wanted to give this presentation today. So Google Expeditions, then after we purchased all these kits, then COVID came and we couldn't go anywhere. Nobody wanted us to be spreading germs. Here, take this. So nobody was using it. And so Google decided to phase down. And then they said on June 30th, 2021, we deactivated the Expeditions and the Tour Creator apps. They'll no longer work on your devices and tours can't be downloaded again after they're gone. You can find many of the tours from Expeditions, and then they gave you this. And I'm a member of the Google Certified Trainer group, and it's a worldwide group. And we have every day we get an email, and we have a Google group that we communicate to. And there were some very upset people because we all had just spent all of this money on these kits, and now they're not going to work. Then somebody wrote in the group, now they're expensive paperweights. So you have what we did then. So I'm like, okay, we didn't spend that much money to not use these kits. And so Google says you can go to Google Arts and Culture. Okay, so there is one option. You can use them with Google Arts and Culture. There was the VR Expeditions 2.0 app. That's from Robot Labs, because of any entrepreneur is going to see an opportunity to fill in that role. And that's a company that did it, Robot Lab. The other company that did it was Singleton Technologies, and they came up with the Expeditions Pro app. Now, the VR Expeditions 2.0 app, well, yeah, I looked into that. I got the free trial license is what I did. Why did I want to do that? The advantages was it used our equipment. They partner with Encyclopedia Britannica, which we found was a very good source of information and a broad base of materials that you could use. Again, it's that teacher-led tour that used the modem. So I really like that our students weren't on the internet. The disadvantages for that were it's not free. So I got a quote, and it was, we have 60 total. So for our 60 our 60 phones, which would have to put the app on, it was going to be $66,000 for those 60 licenses. The advantage to that, it's a one-time fee. You don't have to keep paying it every year, and it updates for free and all that. So for some districts who have their own kits, that might be an option. I know some students use teacher groups, went to individual sources and got grants and bought these. And so you can maybe go get a grant, and that's an option. And you can see it's won some excellent awards, and that is available to you. Google Arts and Culture is, you can also use. The advantages for Google Arts and Culture is it's free. It's safe for students under 18, and I double check that because we got to stay with COPA FERPA laws. We don't want students out there exposing their individual data. It is safe for students. Google protects it. It has some content available. And I did spend some time. I started by creating a spreadsheet. I thought, well, this is what we'll do. We'll use this for our kits, and started a spreadsheet about the different tours that were available. Okay. Disadvantages for Google Arts and Culture. Teacher cannot lead the tour. It doesn't go through the modem. Each device needs the internet access. So for us at Heartland, for our phones to go out there and all of us hook up to your internet, that's not really going to be feasible. And the content for the VR tours is limited. I spent, I don't know, a couple afternoons thinking that, you know, this was last spring, going through all of them. And it was like tour after tour of a museum. And I have to say that wasn't very engaging for me. So that might serve some of your needs. So I felt like, bottom line, Google Arts and Culture is a fantastic tool for individual exploration on Chromebooks. But it's not a real good fit for these VR kits. The app is downloaded to all of our devices and our kits, but we would need, if we come to your school, we'd have to hook up all of those phones to your kit, or all of our phones to your internet access. And most schools don't want that. And it's a huge push on the bandwidth. So it's there. It's amazing. And you can do a whole session on Google Arts and Culture, everything that's in there. It's pretty amazing. But bottom line for me is it's just not a good fit. So what I landed on then was Expeditions Pro. And if you click that, it'll take you to their website. Advantages for me, it's free. It works on our existing equipment. The app is available in Google Play. And at first it was only available in Google Play, which was hard because it only worked on Android devices. But now they've got it in the Apple Store. So now it works on Apple devices too, which is huge for me because I have an iPad. I do not have a tablet, another type of tablet. The teachers can lead the tour using the kit's modem. It says you can choose from hundreds of existing tours. And if you click this, what we did at Heartland, we sat down together for one meeting and we just created a spreadsheet of the different tours that are available. So if you want to look through here, and then you can click here if you're interested in checking out our kit. But the titles will give you an idea. We really haven't sorted them by category or anything. At this point, this is just what we put together. The website hasn't done that for us yet. But they do have, and they're adding to it all the time. So I did go and add some new ones, and we'll try to keep that spreadsheet up to date for you. But it is available to you. You can create your own 360-degree tours and share them. That was what Tour Creator did. I haven't used that aspect of Pro yet. I will be digging into that this year. It's one of my goals. There are teacher resources available. There's audio information, and I'm going to show you that later in this presentation, but that gets difficult if you're leading it because it only comes from the teacher. Or you got 30 kids and the audio is going. It's difficult, but if you were doing it at an independent center and kids could have headphones, it would work that way. And then teachers can draw on the screen, which I really like because I liked pointing out things that I wanted kids to see. So those options, I found that for us, Expeditions Pro was our best option. So that's what I'm going to walk you through today, is what this looks like. So is there any questions so far? I don't see any in the chat. Okay. For my big audience of 5. So I wondered if people would be interested in this session. You always say, all right. So when you, and I'm gonna load it up on my computer here, but I created this slide deck so it would have these reminders, and you can go back and look, okay, how did that go? So when you open it up, you have those options at the bottom. You can browse tours with featured content. If you hit discover, browse without that featured content. So it's not trying to like push out their new ones. The library are tours that you've downloaded to your device. And that's why you don't need the internet when you use these tours in your class. You do need the internet to download it that first time. And then once it's downloaded into your teacher device, then it just broadcasts from there. So you do need the internet to browse tours, to find them, and to download. You do not need them to lead the class. And when you're ready to lead a class, you hit the class button. That's what your home screen looks like. And so here it shows you the whole big thing. Like you can browse by category. So it's got, arts and culture, food and drink, furniture and home. You can browse these featured tours, which are usually new ones or something that they've decided to feature, or browse new tours. And this one was one a school district had created, and they put it up for everybody so you can walk through their school, which is one thing that this school district did. So that's what that home screen looks like. When you're actually leading a tour, this is what it looks like. And I labeled all of the images. You've got your draw tool up here. So as you open up that scene, you can circle something to draw their attention to it, and students can look around until I find your circle. You can see where your students are looking because they have these little happy faces on the tour. And you see that's where your students are. Yeah, and this is the image that it's just a 360. It's not that the students can look around. Then these information cards are huge because this gives you some general description of what you're looking at. And then these are specific places. And when you click on that, it'll direct the students to go look what the old city is and what the Jaffa Gate is. And then because I have these little audio buttons right here, that shows you that there is audio. If you click that, it'll read it out loud. Again, the problem with that is with a whole room full of kids that are excited, that audio. So I just don't use that, and I prepare my lesson and just say it. And plus, I don't want kids to sit and listen to me read. I try to, make it more, just tell them in my own words or summarize it. Use some of it and interject. But that teacher tool is huge to me. I want to know what I'm looking at so I can explain it to my students as I'm there. When I want to move to the next scene, you just click this button, you slide this one over, click play, and then the scene changes. And then all the students holding their goggles, the scene will change for them after you change the scene. So just give me a thumb or a little thing in the chat. Have any of you used the VR kits before? Wondering if, oh, and Justin, I see you have a question. One thumbs up. Okay, Joni, you have. Is it similar to the initial expeditions where you can do the tour on your Chromebook or computer without goggles? Yes, it's not as cool, but sometimes cannot get the goggles when you need them. Yes, it's available like that. Yep, but you wouldn't lead it. Well, if you could lead it on the goggle, what I would have for my students sometimes if they get a little motion sickness is I would just have them open it and they can see it in a 360 view just on the phone that way. Or if they have a Chromebook, they can just kind of just scroll through. And I agree, it's not as cool, but it still works. So yes, does that answer your question? And it looks like Joni, are you the only one who's used, because this is very, very similar to what it looked like before when it was Google's. But this now, so this is a lot like what Google had for expeditions. Justin, did that answer your question? Thanks for turning your camera on. Yeah. Okay. So, and I'll show it to you. I'll plug in my app. So here, let me just go here. I'm going to stop this share. And I'm going to share the app, show you what it looks like then on my iPad. Okay. Okay, press home to unlock, which I did. Okay, so now look at this. This is a new thing that I've learned. I go share my screen. And then I go to iPhone or iPad with AirPlay. And then I pull this down and I click mirroring. And it should work. Zoom, Catherine Hines. All right. Can you see it, everybody? All right. Thank you, Joni, for thank you, Justin. All right. So this is my iPad. And you can see, I'm going to find the Expeditions app. It's down at the bottom right here. So I click open the Expeditions Pro app and it loads up on my iPad. Welcome back. What am I doing? 11:25. And there's that screen that you see with the menus where I can browse by category. If I want to see culture and humanity, it will show me what are some different tours. And you can see there's 5. It's not a huge resource like the Google Expeditions had way more tours, and it breaks my heart that those aren't available anymore. But that's, then you go by category. Okay, if I go back to browse, the results in animals and pets. If I go to discovery, I'm back to that page, and they have those feature tours, and it tells you how many scenes are there, like the Mars Curiosity rover. Machu Picchu is really cool, in which I want to see someday. Timothy Edwards' virtual tour. That's just somebody they can add to the group. And you can look at some of them. Then if you hit library down at the bottom, that will show you, okay, what are the tours that are downloaded in my iPad, okay, that I've looked through. So I don't need an internet when I go to use it. I just go to that tour, and that's how I do it. So I'm going to open up this tour, Holy Places of Jerusalem. I'm going to say view tour. So this is what I would do if I was thinking about teaching it. I would view it first myself, of course. And like Justin, you were saying, so if I go like this, I can see it. And a student could do this on a device too. It's not that immersive experience, but it's still there. Okay. And so then when I tap, this is just the teacher tablet. The students don't see those little cards that pop up. But you do when you're teaching it. You can use this teacher tablet to direct them. That's what you do. You use your teacher tablet. And then I click, like if I wanted to show them the old
Majestic
city.
walls surround the narrow cobblestone streets and ancient buildings of Jerusalem's old city. The majestic walls surround the narrow cobblestone streets and ancient buildings of Jerusalem's old city. The old city is divided into 4 quarters: Jewish, Armenian, Christian, and Muslim. Within the walls, you will encounter numerous holy shrines and places of prayer.
So that's the audio, which I just turn off because it's because I don't want it. But you can see that little spot right there, and then the students will see an arrow and go like this. If we were in a face-to-face environment, we would just be putting these on and doing it. So I hope this virtual environment is okay. But so when I'm done with that card, using my screen, I just slide over. Now the next one is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I press play, and then it switches for all the student devices, and now they see this scene. And then they just can look up and down and all around, and they can see these different places. So that's what it looks like. And then the next one, the Stone of Anointing. I had a teacher in my last class who teaches religion, so I found this for him and was showing it to him. It's really, that's what it looks like on my iPad. Okay, and up here you can see up at the top are those tools, and so like there's my drawing tool. So if I said, hey, if you look over here, and I'll click my drawing tool and I'll circle it. You can see that, and the kids go, that painting, and I could tell them something. Or you can use the iPad's audio as well. But and it's so funny because the kids will say, look over here, they don't understand, it's not over there. It's different for everybody depending where in the picture they are. But they really enjoy looking at these different images. I'm just gonna, so when you're ready to, and this little up here, that tells you how many students are on your page. And then if you guys had student devices, which I could have hooked up my iPhone, you'll see those little happy faces down here, and you can see where the students are. So that way you can kind of see where are they looking, and you can see if you actually circle something, you'll see a concentration of little happy faces, okay, they're with me. They're paying attention to what we're doing here. And then this Wi-Fi button just shows it on my, and so you can see, like when I tap those goggles, it says 0, but the students get this guide code right here, and that's what they put into their device because they have the app on their phone. And then when you start it, it'll say the teacher's leading a class, and I will X out. So when you hit class, then it says, are you going to follow it? Or are you going to lead it? The students, of course, are going to follow. You're going to lead and connect to the same Wi-Fi. Yeah, and you go get started. And then if I wanted to do the astronomy one, and I would say view tour, now the students could view this one. And I would see up there, they would get that guide code would show up on their device. And so they would put that in there, and then you'd see how many students are joined right there on that one. So, if you got 20 kids in your class, all 20 are with you. So and then you can just tap the arrows, and it goes to this one doesn't have any audio. So notice it just has a little symbol. So the audio is available only on some of them, not all of them. And that's how you would lead a class. Okay. And then when it says disconnect, because you can see I'm guide 2614, when I want to end the tour, I just go to disconnect. And then I quit leading the tour. I can just exit out. And now I can go back to discover. Okay. Any questions with that part? Get to the chat. Okay. Yep, you can see it. Good. All right. So that is the Expeditions Pro app that we have. Now, if I go to Google Arts and Culture, I can show you that too, because I put that app on here. Where did I put it? Is it my Google Apps folder? And I put Google Arts and Culture app. It is an app that you have to put on your devices. Google Arts and Culture, that app looks like that. I'm gonna hit that button. So I could lead a tour, but I can't lead it. So the students would have to open it up, and they do have some 3D adventure on here that you would use with your students. And again, here's where the goggles don't do you much good. So you can see what it's like, and but I can't lead it. So each student would just have their own device. They'd have to have their own internet connection, and they would have to hook up with the Google Arts and Culture thing, the app. Is this making sense? And for art teachers, of course, I'm an old literature teacher, so I would love to use this, like studying The Great Gatsby. Let's go out and look at what that part of the United States looks at, or some other part of literature. Science teachers, there's science stuff available in Google Arts and Culture. This you could have kids do it on Chromebook, really. They just would, so you can do it on a Chromebook too. So the goggles don't serve a huge advantage for this, as it does for the Expeditions Pro. So, okay, it's 11:14. What time am I done? 11:25. All right, I want to get into, I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to stop my mirroring. And I'm going to go back to sharing my desktop with you. It's really important to talk about, if you saw Jake, our speaker today, it's not a just for fun thing. This is a tool that, as a consultant, I struggle to get people to say, that's cool, I want to bring it in my classroom. It'd be fun to see the kids lose their mind. And I agree, but it's not about the tool, it's about the learning, and that it's duct tape. Like, have a clear purpose. It's not a just for fun thing. I've had so many teachers, I'd like to have it as a reward for my student, and I'll come out there and I'll do it in your classroom for that purpose. But it's really much more powerful if we create a learning experience. Collaborating together with your consultant and plan that learning experience together is my favorite thing to do. And so let's say I am a literature teacher and I'm reading The Great Gatsby, and kids don't understand what the eggs, East egg and West egg, for any of you who have read The Great Gatsby, they don't understand the geography of New York. And that might be a great, powerful thing so students can connect to what they're reading about. They can create that mental image, because we know it helps reading comprehension if students can create their own images in their mind. And or even if you're studying some historical places, instead of I remember world history didn't mean anything to me in high school or ever, because I've been in Forest City, Iowa, and that's about it. I'd been to northern Minnesota and that's it. So I couldn't imagine going over an ocean. When I planned the lesson together, like we created in Google Earth, I was teaching at Waukee, and they wanted to show them some sites from the Civil War. And so we started in Google Earth, and we started finding our little spot in the Waukee Elementary that I was at. And then we flew in Google Earth over to where in the United States we were going to look at specifically. Okay, now we're over here on the East Coast to see how far we went in our plane, as we traveled, and we zoomed in on the city, and then we picked up the goggles, and then let's go look at that. It's the Fort Sumter is what we were looking at. I really like that way of using it purposefully, collaborating, and we did it together. So another thing is that you need to plan if you want to use our kits, if you don't have your own in your own district, we check them out for the week. And when you do check them out, we want to be sure these kits are in a safe place. And let me tell you, the kit of 30 is a beast. That thing is really heavy. So it's not easy. It has wheels, but it's not the easiest thing. But you want to have a plan that they need to be in a safe place. You need time to set them up and so forth. If you wanted to work with your consultant, they can just bring, and if you have any mobile tablet, you can start exploring and know exactly what you want before you even call us. Or if you want to call us, we can work together to find an activity for a tour for you. I also think it's great if you can plan a closure activity. Like I've had teachers use a Google form or a Padlet, just put them in small, large discussion groups, a seesaw. But somehow we don't go, oh, that was fun. That closure. I had this kindergarten teacher is brilliant. Okay, what was one thing that you learned today? Or, she does, what was one thing that surprised you? She did a KWL, it's just something to talk about. So it makes that, it wasn't just a cool thing to do. It was also something that we learned from. I was with kindergartners and we were looking at Mexico City because they're talking about Mexico. And one kid was like, that's the Mexico flag, because he was from Mexico. So it was amazing what he saw in that picture as a kindergartner. And then the other thing is if you like when I work with 5th grade teachers, for example, there might be 5 different teachers. To pick up that kit and take it into 5 different classrooms is a lot of work. It's easier just to have the kids rotate to the VR room is what we did. So we didn't have to pack up all the phones, pack up all the goggles, and move them, take the modem out and it's a lot of work. So it's easier that once you get there for one day, it stays. And you can check it out, like I say, for a week. And your van delivery days are either a Monday, you have a van delivery day for your district. It's some ideas that we've used it for in the past: build background knowledge. An example of that is that a history teacher or a geography teacher, and they were going to study China. So before they started their study of China, we did a VR tour and we looked at China, the Great Wall, and different things. And so the kids had that knowledge, that schema in their brain, that I always call it the Velcro. So when they learn something new, it won't just do a flyby, it will stick because they've got that background knowledge. Create visuals for learners. The solar system and the universe is just, how do you even grasp it? And so I just was in a classroom and we looked at the solar system, and that really kind of give them, okay, here's our inner planets, here's our outer planets. And I thought it created a visual. And one kid who was a buff just went off about his knowledge that he knew about when he was looking at it. So it was a great visual activity. Encourage hypothesis writing. Okay, here's the universe. You could start it like that. Well, what's your idea as to why the Mercury's has a 97-day year, and Jupiter has this. Connect students to the outside world. A lot of kids are like me and never left their little hometown. And so it helps them connect and understand that there is something beyond their little circle of the universe. And then I told you about combining with Google Earth. So, and there was one digestive system that took students, it was a high school science teacher who used it that time, and it took them through a berry started in the mouth, went down the esophagus, and then the student, and she had them hypothesize about what's going to be doing next. Really interactive activity, and the students did. And I have to say, the day we looked at the solar system, one kid said to me, that was the best day ever. And that's saying something, because we had the Potato Olympics last week. So it was even better than the Potato Olympics, whatever those Potato Olympics might be. Also, it's nice to kind of, that virtual reality lesson plan is there if you'd like to click that as a thing. What's your learning objective? Which tour do you use? And how will that VR tour help that learning objective? And then what steps do you want to do? And if you check it out with us, we can lead the tour, or you can lead the tour. We figure that stuff out in those lesson steps and about what we want that lesson to look like. I also have typed up for a teacher, like creating a teacher guide. I typed up what was in all those things so the teacher could see that. You can click this slide 1, what's up there. Oops, sorry. So I can do that too as your counselor, as your consultant. But now that it's available on iPhones, you can do that on your own with your own iPhone, which is the next thing. You can just put this, if you have an iPhone, and you can put these at, or another mobile device, you can put the app and start browsing and see if there's something out there that you would want. So at this point, you must check it out with us. So you'd want to email us at haeatech@heartlandaea.org. And right now we have to travel with the kit. We were just building a training session so teachers could check it out without us, and then COVID hit. And so I think we will be building that again. And so if you've taken this workshop, so you know how to safely handle the equipment and use it, you will be able to check it out in the future if we have high demand. We'll see if the demand comes back. It's been quieter since COVID hit. So I'm going to stop my share. Any questions that you have for me? Or anything that you would like me to show you on the app or anything? For my large group of 4. So, all righty. Oh, you're welcome, Joni. Please follow up with me if you have any questions. Tell your colleagues if you think this would be something that would be worthwhile for them. Give me any feedback. I'd be happy to do that. And if you have your own machines at school, your own kits, be happy to come and help you load up and show you what I learned. Oh, Lynn, I'm so glad it was what you needed. Yay! So that's a good use of our time. All right, so I'm going to end this session and head back to the close where there's still prizes. Have I looked at PBS video? I have looked at it briefly. Again, that would be something we wouldn't put on our devices and couldn't lead as a kit. So that would be for individual. I can't go to schools and hook up on their internet. They don't want us on their internet. So I've really focused my search on what I can lead from my mobile device. So yeah.